McCarthy was willing to experiment, and I think he was also passing a message that just because you think you're the best doesn't mean I cannot drop you. I think he was also trying to pass a message.
Wacha niambie kitu moja, mmesahau kitu moja na hii team ni 100% Nairobi. When it comes to football in Kenya, right? There is talent in football in Kenya, the whole country. As somebody who played Coca-Cola under 17 na mtu mwenye alichezea high school football, naweza kuambia kuna talent country mzima, kila mahali. The thing is, when it comes to football in Kenya, for you to advance, most of the time inakwanga in equivalent to how your pocket is, ama unajua nani.
You know, kulikuwa na hiyo problem sana kwa national team whereby kulikuwa na hii mambo ya kujuana. Yani you had to be in good books with certain people where even sometimes hata FKF officials will intervene wakitaka mchezaji fulani, you know, like acheze. And I'm glad, you know, what I like about McCarthy, I was a bit 50-50 about him. But just having listened to him, he's someone who's very excited at this job. And the fact that he's from another African country, South Africa, so he has an understanding of some of the challenges players are experiencing.
Easy pinky ponky.
Yes, and then Amekuja, he's not in any of this. He's not inside any of these corruption networks. He's not in there. He doesn't know them.
Yeah.
And he's here. He's here to win.
Yeah, to do his job. Yes.
He's here to make a point.
Yes.
You know, he's very ambitious because his goal is World Cup 2026. On one side, you can say that it's going to be 48 teams. So this is going to be an easier path than previous ones. I'm not saying easy, but it's just going to be slightly easier.
Yes.
Because I think Africa may have 7 or 8 slots. I'm not sure how many slots exactly Africa will be given for the World Cup, because I think there will be an extra slot that will go into some kind of playoff.
Yeah.
Ali,
kunywa maji bro, kunywa maji.
Okay, sawa. Nilikuwa nimeenda 0 to 100. Haya, Mika.
Mock 1.
One thing you also have to give kudos to is the new FKF officials who are elected. President Hussein Mohammed, Vice President McDonald Mariga, Patrick Korir, and General Secretary Patrick Korir. For the first time, we actually have people who are football people.
Nice.
And I believe that Hussein Mohammed, was a good choice. Doesn't have any political ambitions. Nimsena Penatubol, Mariga the same way, Korir the same way. So for me, I'm very happy. And you see, even for the appointment McCarthy, for them to actually go down and start looking for a coach. They didn't just run for the nearest white man that they could find out there like other people used to look for. They went to look for a coach who they knew has gone through badges, has trained into. McCarthy has a good coaching experience. If you look at his coaching CV, and he's not somebody who just takes a job. If you've listened to him, how he talks, he says he doesn't just take a job to take for a job. He takes a job whereby he sees there's a chance of building something out of that job. So, me, I'm more like, and he himself said, you see, this is a coach who actually benched the best player in the current Premier League in Kenya and said, no, let me just go for it. Because he knew what he wants in the team. This is a coach who knows what he wants in the team. Him putting players like Bajaber has been on the peripheries of national team. Amechezea na national team hizi matona za CHAN, hizi matona, but hajacheza World Cup qualifier ama African Cups qualifier, AFCON qualifier. But amechezea hizi tona. So he's been on the peripheries of the national team. He's good. He went to trials for FC Midtjylland.
In
He's
Denmark.
a good player. He's a very, very good player. So uni mse like aliangalia kuna unajua nini skills za huyu mse, the way he plays for police, the way police signed him in January, amwainua to a point whereby you can see police are challenging. So he knew that this is a player who if I add him next to Olunga badala kwa kama striker wawili na malaini wawili waanza kugongana, if I play him behind Olunga nikianza kumlead kwa hiyo team polepole, it's fixing the team. So he's a coach who knows what he wants. Is this his final team? I don't think so. He's going to bring back some of the players who he dropped, but that shows that this is a coach who's willing to not just go for inform, but actually look for a winning setup for the team and then build around that.
Now let me say something. Let me read something from Muzi. Muzi, for those of you who do not know Muzi, Muzi is Jabali Africa, fan of the show, a regular, and a guy who supports the show a lot. So Muzi at one point in time was in hidden circles, or Moshul, we can attest to this, how they were like really trying to get Hussein and Mariga elected. Like, so they were going through, they were campaigning a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and Muzi nimse upenda ball sana. And kwanza local, anything that is local music, local, anything arts and creative, he's a supporter of local creatives in Kenya. So after the performance of Harambee Stars, he put up a post. He says, you know what, the new face of Kenya football, Mathare United, showed us the way back. You are just catching up now. Mpira si ya Wajaluo na Waluya. Have traveled the country with my brother Abdul MK, who I think is doing tournaments, and the talent we come across is out of this world. What we saw yesterday in Abidjan is a true testament of the growth of the game beyond the traditional regions that we are accustomed to. Same way we are seeing other tribes conquer athletics, other than the usual football. Other than the usual football has come of age. Let's go Kenya, let's go Harambee Stars. Sunday we are back at it with Gabon. And I remember having this, we used to have this discussion with you, Ali, where we were talking about, you remember, if you remember those games that we used to have, it was Kerea local, before we went to district. What were they?
Oh, like
school games.
Yeah, yes, school games.
Yes.
Yeah.
But and you used to ask,
yeah,
are you trying to tell us that there are not talented soccer players uko Eastern, correct, Northeastern, or whatever? Wargadud. Yeah. Like, that's what are you trying to tell us? And what we are seeing, like, you know, I think you would. What was the guy who scored that? The
Mohamed Bajaber.
Jaber. Get used to this
not
name.
Not Jaber, Bajaber.
That one.
Yeah.
Like, I get used to this name. I'm like, who's this guy?
But
so, no, Mika, before you finish, hold on. So when Mika was also actually reading out the roster,
yeah,
I'm like, who are these guys? Because all people know are Olunga, and maybe the goalkeeper.
Olunga has been
playing.
No, but then
Uno. One, that's what I'm saying. When was the last time you watched an Harambee Stars game? Last time it was 1 year.
Oh no.
The team Simpia.
So Mika is right. The team is not totally new.
Right.
But when I said new look, McCarthy was willing to experiment, and I think he was also passing a message that just because you think you're the best doesn't mean I cannot drop you. I think he was also trying to pass a message.
Wacha niambie kitu moja, mmesahau kitu moja na hii team ni 100% Nairobi.
Well,
hiyo ndio kitu moja mmesahau. So the thing is this, when it comes to football in Kenya, right? There is talent in football in Kenya, the whole country. As somebody who played Coca-Cola under 17 na mtu mwenye alichezea high school football, naweza kuambia kuna talent country mzima, kila mahali. The thing is, when it comes to football in Kenya, for you to advance, most of the time inakwanga in equivalent to how your pocket is, ama unajua nani. Unaona? So if your pocket is, kama mzazi wako anabia kukubaia boots, kukupeleka games, kufanya nini, utagrow. Kama mzazi wako ama bro wako ama sister wako anajua mtu mwenye anakujua ama mmetoka mtaa fulani na coach fulani na huyo coach ako na influence, utagrow. Unaona? Hiyo ndio kitu inaua boli ya Kenya. Ukianza kuweka boli ya ukabila, alisiji si Mjaluo, si Mluya, si Mswako, si wa nini, hatuendelea maji na boli.
No,
But you see,
I
no,
think
hatuendelea maji na boli kwa sababu gani? Unajua kwa sababu gani?
yes.
Kwa sababu mimi nikicheza na show na Mombasa High, team ilikuwa mixed. Ilikuwa na Waswahili wawili. Unaona? Haikuwa timu ya Waswahili.
Now
Nikicheza Kakamega High School, nilikuwa na timu ina Mwalalo wawili, ina Wasapero wawili, ina Wajaka, ina Makamba, ina Waluya watatu. Like haikuwa team sijui ni Waluya alone.
Now I think going back to what Muzi was saying, and what has been there in Kenyan football for a while, like hivyo vile Mika amesema, is that lazima uwe na networks, and then of course all these players come to Nairobi. So kama umepitia through your provincials, nationals, and you've been spotted by a club, you will be picked up by a club from hizo inter-secondary school games.